She lives in a house her father built in 1973. Beti Olive Namisango Kamya was born in Kenya, but after independence in 1962, her father moved the family back to Uganda. She is half Muganda, half Kikuyu. Kamya's mother was a midwife. She worked in Mengo Hospital for many years.
And I think she played her supportive role kind of very well. I never knew that parents, I'm sure they fought, but in their bedroom, never before us.
Her father was an accountant, and when he returned to Uganda, he joined the army and was passed out as a cadet officer. He served until the fall of President Idi Amin in 1979 and fled to exile. Kamya says her mother's principled nature and a hands-on father ensured they were raised as such.
We had to go to church every Sunday and then come home and tell him what you have heard in church, who the preacher was and what the preacher said and what you learned out of it.
Therefore, Kamya and her siblings learned to pay attention and keep pace with current events. The parents gave them 20 shillings for pocket money, and it was a significant sum then.
We had to account for it. Of course, we forged. We bought a lot of things to eat, but then you put in, I bought a book, I bought a... But the point is the culture of accountability.
Kamya has passed on these lessons to her 6 children, aged between 34 and 22. Her marital home is in Machindye, but when her husband died and she joined politics, she moved back to Lunguja, located in Lubaga North, a constituency she represented from 2006 to 2011. Kamya was widowed 12 years ago, but she still wears her wedding ring.
And I've never taken it off. Somehow it keeps him alive, and I like that.
Her husband, Lieutenant Spencer Turomwe, died of meningitis.
You know, I really felt sorry for him. He was awake and alive and didn't lose weight or anything, but he had a constant headache. For 1 year he suffered.
She was the executive director of Uganda Zoo, later renamed the Uganda Wildlife Education Center. Kamya went back to work immediately after her husband's death to catch up on deadlines she missed while she was caring for him. Kamya's resignation from the zoo was controversial. There were claims of financial impropriety. She dismisses them.
During that time, I had just fundraised a lot of money, about 300 million, you know, in the week that I left, and I left it intact.
One of the things she is proud to have done at the zoo was changing the staff salary scale.
The executive director, I think, was getting really twice the salary of all the staff put together, including tickets for himself and his family of 2 children, school fees, I think, in international school.
Kamya is a public figure, so some people are keen to guess her age, but her appearance belies her 59 years.
I think a gene has a lot to do with it. Then, of course, I don't live a reckless life. A glass of wine once in a while, lots of water, lots of fruit and juices.
She has ably raised the 6 children she had with her late husband and has not considered remarrying.
It's very difficult to replace Spencer. Of course, advances are there. You know, men, for many reasons. Some of them think you're even rich. They want to come and steal your money. Some of them are genuine. Some of them want the status that go with it.
She says it is important that parents make the children their friends.
Because I told them that your friends, whatever your friends know, I know 3 times. I've been through it all.
Her husband was from Bushenyi district, and Kamya is fluent in his Runyankole dialect. It is evident as she mimics those from the western region who tried to label her.
Manyogu no amaritipati, manyogu no adipi, and mazima, are you sure?
In 2011, along with Miriam Obote, Kamya blazed the campaign trail as a presidential candidate, and it was quite an experience for her.
The local women in the villages received me very well. But the elite, the women who are activists in all the organizations, did not want to know. Nobody gave me a phone call to say, hey, fellow woman, do you need help? Or what is it you're saying?
Halfway through the campaigns, she fell ill and had an emergency operation.
The only person who visited me was Winnie Byanyuma and Miriam Matembe. And Miwili Byanyuma was on her campaign trail with her husband. But she visited me and brought me flowers. I appreciate that very much. We laughed about old times.
Women have the numbers, but they have failed to vote their own to the highest echelons of politics. Kamya believes a neutral candidate would draw the vote.
I mean, if Jackie Asemwe stood, I think they're not, or Rita Achiro, the executive director of WONET, I think people would not look at Rita as somebody from the north. Or they would not look at Jackie Asemwe as somebody from the west. They would look at Jackie Asemwe or Rita Achiro as a woman activist.
Our talk then shifts to society and its contemporary challenges.
We have given our responsibility, we have let it go to the dogs in the name of rights. It is my right to dress as I want. Yes, it is her right, and the children's rights and whatever. Muslims, even here in Uganda, in their schools, they say you will dress like this.
She is concerned that Africans are just consumers of trends, ideologies, and literally everything, but never innovators.
The time I think they said, oh, virginity was out of vogue. Then the Europeans said virginity is back in vogue. And here also it was out of vogue. Then when it came back in vogue in Europe, then it's back in vogue. We are so light-minded. And that, I think that pains me.
Josephine Karungi, NTV.